What's up, guys? Back with a video here, and gotten a couple of comments on how people just liked unscripted ramblings from myself, so I can do that every day. So I thought today I'd just show sort of like this guest room in that I've been working on, and this is like the second bedroom in my house, and since it's basically me, I just have a pull-out sofa in it and some old shit that I'm about to show you. So I worked on this for quite a while yesterday, to set up all your consoles just so with the wires not a spaghetti disaster in the background. I probably spent like 3 hours on this yesterday. I was listening to like shit on my phone or whatever, kind of distracted easily back and forth, but we'll just press play. Will it play? Anyways, so one thing that I don't know if you guys have we all use CRTs, right? Obviously there's a lot of FrameMeister and whatever the new thing is. It's not so new now. Retro Tank. But like, if you ever watch anime on a CRT, it is like, it's the truth. It looks so good. It looks okay on this phone through YouTube, but in person, let me just tell you, this looks so good. So, anyways, whoops. Didn't mean to hit the volume. Yeah, one more reason to, peruse and stock neighborhoods for old TVs on the side of the road, right? This is kind of what this was. This Sony I got from the Salvation Army probably a few years ago, and looks so good. And some of you know that I'm kind of a big Saturn fan, so of course this is the Magic Knight Ray Earth anime, and I got those on DVDs. Had that for a long time. I'm not the biggest anime fan, but gotta have Magic Knight Ray Earth because I got the game. So, and this is running on, I'm just going to turn this down so it's not too distracting. This is running on an old Pioneer DVD player that I got, and this is like, I don't know if it came this way, but it's modified so that I could play Japanese Super Play DVDs, which I got some of those over here. So I got the Insanity series. So I got Battle Garega and Ketsui, excuse me. Oops, there we go. Sorry about that. Ketsui, Battle Garega, The Madness. I think I've shown those off before. Maybe it was like 7 years ago. Who knows? Some random DVDs. What also looks good on a CRT TV are Godzilla DVDs, especially like from the 80s. Those look, Godzilla looks a lot better on a CRT, in my opinion. Cowboy Bebop, Akira, the hits. Robotech. And got my Famicom there, which I can't really get to work. Something's not quite right with it, so I actually just put an order in for that new kind of mod board, not the NES RGB. I did that whole song and dance. This one I'm just going to modify with this new composite board by Back Office. I had a look at that and I put an order in, so I'll probably have a video on that. It replaces the power supply board, circuit inside, and also through like a TRSS jack, like a little headphone jack, puts out composite, so it's, you know, you don't have to screw any additional holes in the console. It looks like a pretty clean little mod, so I'm gonna put that in that Famicom. And who knows, maybe I'll get like an EverDrive for it. And over here, this is an old TV stand that I've moved probably 4 times. It's like really solid oak, and it's a good size for an old TV. So I got that there. And GameNight.net. This is a playmat from beloved local game store, which actually my Big Red is at. And they just closed this year after being open for 20 years. Which is kind of a gut punch. But see, it's still kind of messy. Can't really tell, but I did do some kind of wire management. I don't know how interesting this is. And then over here, I've got kind of a classic stereo setup for when I want to read stuff, like books. And this is an old, it's nothing too fancy, but it's an Onkyo from like the 70s, still works. And I opened that up, cleaned it up. This is out of my grandparents' apartment. So when they passed away, I took this and their speakers. These are old, the Fishers. And the Fisher is like very famous old American amplifier brand. Their speakers, not so much. So I think if this Onkyo was a Fisher vacuum tube receiver, it'd be worth some coin. But these are just, you know, they are what they are. They're nostalgic to me, so they still work if you don't play them too loud. And bookshelf, nothing too crazy there. Just some random stuff. I got this reading light, kind of Pixar light. And the console lineup, I've got a Dreamcast that's modded with a GDMU, which I bought modded, so I didn't really go through the process of learning that. That's kind of a trend. You know, I got the Meister, the Mister to learn, and this GDMU to learn. I think probably the mode might be an easier product to work for an ignorant SOB like myself, but that's the one I got. This is my Duo R. It is RGB modded. On this TV right now, I'm just running it on composite. It's region modded, and this one works. I've been trying to get my American Turbo Duo to work. I opened it up again today, and I had done a cap replacement and a RGB amp mod. And you know, the cap replacement, that's 90% of the battle. That's what they always say. And I did that successfully. It took a long evening, and you want to have the right tools on hand. So I had like a hot air station. I had the surface mount cap kit. I did that. This is like years ago, and I put in the RGB amp, and that worked great. I had like a great 3 months with it. And then like I had some people over and somebody put in like a burned game, and then the laser stopped working, or it started malfunctioning. And I don't know if it had anything to do with the burn game or just it was time. So I tried to do the laser swap and get a new laser for the Turbo Duo. I put that in, and I have not been able to get it to work. And adjusting the little trim pots on a laser, especially that Turbo Duo, is a nightmare. So a little warning to anybody out there getting into Turbo Duo stuff. You know, I would just recommend trying to get, you know, the best working example you can find, because doing it the hard way, like I've been trying to, you know, do with that American Turbo Duo, which I want to have so bad, because black consoles are my favorite, and I got this one, shelf, and the Dreamcast gets a pass because it's Sega, but I really want that to be a black American Turbo Duo. Just my mishigas, my craziness. So, anyways, I'm trying to get somebody to look at it because I've been failing at trying to fix that thing for 3 years. Anyways, this guy, that's my S video modded, crystal clear audio modded, also Genesis 2, and actually this console was done by Quan, the guy that made the Omega console as MVS. So does great work. It's my favorite Sega Genesis in rotation. It's just a beast. It sounds amazing. It looks great with the S video on this TV. I love that Sega Genesis. The Saturn, just an American Saturn. It's totally stock, and I'm really thinking about getting a satiator because I have a lot of physical Sega Saturn games. I got a pretty good Sega Saturn collection, and the Saturn, my Dreamcast lasers on my original Dreamcast, my 9999 Dreamcast, lawn dead. I got a Dreamcast, probably like a V1 or something, whatever the revision was. It was the sports bundle. I got it in the box probably about 10 years ago. That laser is having trouble, but I have like 4 or 5 Sega Saturns, and all the lasers are perfect. So I don't know what happened between the Saturn and the Dreamcast, but the Saturn laser I think is pretty robust and might be like the best laser ever put in a console in my experience. So I hate to do like a mode on a Saturn to take out the laser and then not be able to play my Sega Saturn collection on it. So I'm really thinking about getting that satiator when it comes back in stock. Just kind of waiting to see like how that pans out. And then down here I got my, what do they call it, SCPH 9000. It's kind of the last revision of the PS2. And this is a Japanese cinnamon color. It's a nice red. So that's the one. I wouldn't mind having a black Japanese PS2, but the red is pretty sexy. So that's there. And I have that because I'm picking up in the mail pretty soon the Sega Ages 2500 Phantasy Star collection, because I want to play through Phantasy Star 2 on very easy mode, because that game is very grind heavy, and when you put it on very easy mode on that M2 port for the Japanese PS2, it just gives you more experience points. And I don't always play RPGs, but when I do, like, I'm not these days, I'm trying to play games that aren't so aggressive with my time. So looking forward to that. And then the Neo Geo, and this is actually the second Neo Geo I've owned, because I totally effed my old one, which to be fair, that Neo Geo was like already pretty effed. Somebody tried to do an S video mod on it, made some extra holes in the back, failed, aborted it. So it just had holes in the back. It had a really weird Hong Kong BIOS chip that I'd never seen or nobody ever heard of before. It was just something, kind of a Hong Kong special. And when I went to try and update the BIOS, and I lifted, it had a socketed BIOS chip in it, and when I went to lift it, I flexed the board in such a way that there's some trace that's broken on it, and I haven't hunted it down. So I can't remember. I got this maybe 2 years ago, a year ago, and just the Neo Geo consoles are just not cheap anymore. There's no good deals on them. So I'm pretty sure I paid the iron price for that console on eBay, and but it's got the Unibios 4.0 on it, and it's just a really, works good. And that I've got running. I did get one of those component cables that everybody talks about. The fuck's the name? Got them from Castlemania. Yeah, it looks good. Sometimes I think like it, you know, there's a little pinkish tint to it here and there that I'm not sure is accurate. Just sometimes I get like a pink feeling off of that image. Um, and 99% of the time it looks great with those component cables, but it's just my impression. So, anyways, but yeah, look at the now it's gonna fight me. But the colors on a CRT with some anime, just amazing looking. So, anyways, and here's a poster that Russian buddy gave me from the Museum of Soviet Arcade Machines, and that's pretty sweet, isn't it? Kind of like these old Soviet arcade machines walking down, the pathway in the park. This is a really cool poster. Muzей Sovietskих Игр Automatov na Travе, which I think means like Museum of Soviet arcade machines on the grass, on park or something. I'm not sure what that last part is. Anyways, over here I got just a VCR TV that somebody was like, I really don't want this TV, and I grabbed it. It's a shit TV, Quasar, terrible TV. But another spot, I found a mint in the box CBS Fox edition Star Wars, and in this cut of the film, which is from like the early '90s, Han Solo kills the shit out of Greedo. It's not even a question. So that's pretty fun. Over here, I got the Switch Lite, which I like. It's sort of like I don't know. Here's a quick rant on current handhelds, and this goes for the Vita here too. They're always dead. Am I right? They're always dead. You have to keep them plugged in constantly. I miss AA batteries. I know I'm probably like the only guy. Oh, it's so much battery waste or whatever. I miss AA batteries. I don't know how long you could get one of those to run off of AA batteries, but that's why I like the new Xbox controllers, or just how Microsoft does their Xbox controllers, because like the AA batteries last forever in that controller, and the PS4 controller like always dead. So, anyways, what can I say? I'm an old fart. I picked this up recently to try out. Shining the Holy Ark. It's cool. It's cool. I gotta play it more. I got my my Virtua stick up there. Some other books. This is sort of a bookcase that I just kind of jammed against the wall. Soon to be filled with more books, probably, because I got more books. I moved a couple years ago. So, oh yeah. And this is something that I put together. Let me stand back. So down low, it's all a mess, but up high, some good stuff. So in my closet here is where I've kind of jammed away some of my my collection, and I don't like to. I'm trying not to have like everything just the video game room, because that's the basement. So up here is just kind of like the creme de la creme. So I got some Dreamcast games. There's some like random PS2 games behind those up there. My Neo Geo collection. which I've shown off in other videos, and my American Saturn collection, and some of my Sega CD stuff, and some random Nintendo cards. I think all the good ones are downstairs. And then Japanese Saturn, Hue cards, Super CDs, Neo Geo CD, Japanese PlayStation 1, all that stuff. So yeah, and so I mean, this is going kind of long, but back in the day, like, so I think I got my Sega Saturn for Christmas. It was the bundle with Daytona USA, Virtua Fighter 2, and Virtua Cop 2. And they came on those, I got one here. I kind of put them in these boxes, yeah. They came in like little paper sleeves like this. And this jewel case I put in, because this is what Funkoland, which is my favorite store. I wish GameStop was still Funkoland. But anyhow, they used to give you those cheap plastic jewel cases for loose games. So I think I cut the front part of that sleeve and slid it in there. Sorry for my dirty hands. I was working on a car. Anyways, so yeah, so that was like the one Christmas that I got what I asked for, you know. And 95. So I was probably like, you know, just about 10 years old and 9 years old. And I got the Sega Saturn. It was awesome. And so, and I really wasn't going to get any other system because video games was just sort of like, you know, not important. And, you know, my parents weren't going to buy me anything. So I really, you know, you got video games just so sparingly. But I love the Saturn. All my friends had PlayStations, of course, and then eventually N64s. Aside from Mario Kart, GoldenEye, and Super Mario 64, like, I wasn't into the N64. I really wanted a PlayStation, to be sure, especially when Metal Gear Solid came out and, you know, the Final Fantasy games. But, you know, I remember the like last year, and like the releases were coming out so slow. The last year, I think this is the last game. I think so. This Magic Knight Rayearth, which was on the TV back there. Pre-ordered that, got it from Funkoland, and I think the same day, I also picked up Panzer Dragoon Saga. Whoops. So, and I've said this before in other videos, but like getting those two games is like the last games for the Saturn. It was like, I can't explain it, but it meant a lot, you know, because Magic Knight Rayearth, you know, maybe not like super critically acclaimed, but I love that game. I thought it's really easy. It's relatively short, but I don't know what it was. I love that game. And, you know, like I said, I'm not that into anime. You know, I have friends that are way more, you know way more about anime than I do. But like Saturday morning, you'd wake up wicked freaking early and you would watch Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball, right? Those were the two cartoons when I was growing up that were like Japanese, you know. And then later on, you know, in like the prime time Saturday morning slot, you get to Batman, right? But Magic Knight Rayearth, that reminded me of like Sailor Moon, you know, just waking up at 5 a.m. I never heard of it before, but like just so colorful, such a beautiful game. And then Panzer Dragoon Saga, like at the time, you know, the PlayStation got all these amazing games that were RPGs. And like I didn't have Dragon Force when I owned, you know, originally. I got that later. But I had Albert Odyssey, which I think came out in like 97. And I loved that game. Is I also didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. The only time I played Super Nintendo was emulating it on like, you know, my Pentium 1 or 486 or whatever it was. So that's how I emulated like Harvest Moon, Zelda, Final Fantasy 5. Is that the, I don't know which one was like the translated, like very early translated game. Anyways, so that's how I played Super Nintendo. So like I definitely loved RPGs, and I had I can't find it here, but I had Final Fantasy 4 for the Genesis, and like I was the only one like rocking that game, only one, and nobody would listen to you because they were all playing Chrono Trigger, right? So you're like trying to tell them Phantasy Star 4 is an amazing game. They're like, yeah, whatever. I got Legend of Mana, Secret of Mana, and Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 3. I mean, like they had. I mean, you were dead to rights, yes. So, long story short, I loved RPGs, but always had the Sega system, right? Always had I had the Genesis, not the Super Nintendo. I had the Saturn, not the PlayStation. So when you got Panzer Dragoon Saga as like one of the final games that Sega released in America, and it turned out to be a goddamn masterpiece, it was like a relief. And it was a really great game. I know some people are like, oh, it's overrated or whatever. It's like, whatever. Like, that is a great game, and it's way, I mean, it's so different than like any of the other games that Square was putting out. I mean, the combat system, the story, it was epic. It's epic. Like, not saying Final Fantasy VII isn't epic, right? But like, I don't know. Like, I would, you know, not a popular opinion, but and you can say like, yeah, but you have the game and you don't have to shell out for it now. It's like true, but like I would take Panzer Dragoon Saga over Final Fantasy VII. I'm a biased Sega asshole, but that's my opinion. Anyways, so yeah, that's the Saturn collection. I got random controllers and hookups and stuff in these boxes. My Xbox 360 Japanese is in this box. And then showed you that, showed you this. I love this. I love this thing. This is like, remember like cartridge containers? Or like, this was like a thing that you buy. You bought like a caddy for your Atari, a caddy for your Nintendo. And these, these have, well, the springs are kind of broken, but they're supposed to like eject out. So I got some of the better ones in there. Metal Storm, Gun Knack, really good compile game. Dragon Warrior 3, I think that's Dragon Warrior 4. My original copy, I wonder if this has my name on it. No, yeah? Yeah. So this is my one and only video game. K2 and Matina. Matina's my sister. Yep. So this is my very first game. And when I had this, I had no idea. I was so young. I had no idea that the Nintendo played other games. Can you imagine? Until I found out about Funkoland, and you looked at their broadsheet with all the price lists. I look at all these Nintendo games. I remember going to being dragged to one of my sister's friends' houses, and she had Super Mario 3 on her Nintendo, and I was like, you're fucking shitting me. Like, I was living a lie. There's other video games for the Nintendo. I got the Mega Mans. But yeah, that's my original copy. And we had the that was like the power pad pack, right? Where you had the aerobics thing. And then down here I got my Genesis stuff. And man, so the Genesis was the console that, like I said, my parents weren't giving me, video games. They weren't going to buy me a new video game for me to play. So I saved up coins, change, and I rolled coins and change till I had like $200 worth. And I got the Genesis with Sonic 2 and It was the Genesis Model 2 at that time. And I got that and X-Men. Let's see, push that out. See, I put my name on that too. This is an old, X-Men. Let me see. Where's my Sonic 2? I was playing that with my 4-year-old niece. And Sonic 2 is the perfect game to play with little kids. Because you give them the second controller, right? So yeah. That's monogrammed. That's an OG sticker with my name on it. See, I've had the nickname K2 since I was a little kid. So yeah. Anyways, after playing nothing but Mario and Duck Hunt, we didn't have any other Nintendo games. My parents weren't gonna buy more Nintendo. That's the last thing they wanted us to play with. You put in Sonic 2 after playing nothing but Super Mario Brothers 1. Mind blown. Mind freaking blown. I mean, one of the most special video game moments in my memory is playing that Sonic 2. So, and what can I say? I've been Sega ever since. And unfortunately, I just don't make consoles anymore, really. But yeah, this is my Genesis, and it goes back a level. Not the best way to find something, but to be honest, I do have that Genesis hooked up with an EverDrive, so it is convenient. It keeps this from looking too much like a video game tomb, which I really like video games with like floor to ceiling video games, but I was just trying to keep it kind of toned down and just kind of hidden in this vault here. So, but I open up the doors and turn on the light for you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've had these forever. Probably saw this in like an old video of mine. I can't remember where I got these. I think I saw these prints. They're two-sided. Mega Man 2 prints. I think I found them on Tiny Cartridge like 10 years ago, and they were just really cool. I got them in really cheap frames that reflect everything. And then I'm packing. I'm armed. Home defense. So, all right, guys, that is a rambling, unscripted video of the video game parlor, where I just have a simple setup on this simple TV, and I might read a little book at night.